Very much Liverpool's day on December the 16th, and that is how the table looked after that game. Liverpool on top. They were a point ahead of Manchester City, and look where Manchester United were. 26 points, 11 away from Champions League football. Fast forward to the table heading into this weekend's clash, and Liverpool aren't on the top anymore, but they're only off the top on goal difference because of Manchester City. But the real change, apart from the change in manager, is the change in Manchester United's position, because they are now going into this weekend in the Champions League position, a point ahead of both Arsenal and Chelsea. From Liverpool's point of view, Robbie, just how different does this fixture look now to it did then?
It's interesting. I think with we've obviously spoke before about Liverpool, Manchester United, what games, what it means. I think you'd have asked me, maybe 7-8 weeks ago. Obviously Manchester United under Jose, you're thinking maybe Liverpool will have the upper hand. They have the players, they have the capabilities of going there and getting the correct result. But in terms of the way he's got them playing now, Solskjaer, it's incredible, the turnaround. The players who were deemed not playing for Jose have suddenly come alive, and they're all playing unbelievably well. Now you look at it, the tables in terms of the points. Liverpool were, I think, 19 points. Obviously 10 games later, it's down to 14 points. So, Liverpool still aren't doing as bad as what people may be thinking. Liverpool have still lost the one game. They'll probably still go into this game quietly confident, but I don't think the confidence is as much as what it would have been if Jose was there and Manchester United were playing like they were before Ollie went in.
Is it as simple to say Manchester United fans were dreading this fixture back in December and now they're really looking forward to it?
Well, I think, say, for instance, the feeling going into that game at Anfield was one of hope and praying that we probably weren't going to get beat well. I don't think there was any thought of going to Anfield and attacking and winning the game. I think but the perception's changed now, the mentality's changed. It's actually, and Robbie's right, in terms of Sunday's game, actually United are thinking we're favourites, we're going to win the game because the mentality's changed in terms of the way that Ollie's set the team up, the way that the team are playing, the confidence and belief. So everyone thinks that Liverpool now have had a dip. Well, they probably haven't. They still only lost one game, but the perception of both teams have changed since what it was in December. December, when they went to Anfield, and the team that they picked, I remember him playing Young at right back and Dalot right wing, and you think, this is not Man United. Now on Sunday, even though maybe Martial and Lingard are out, you know that United are going to go for it. And that is the difference in terms of what's changed. Then players are going out on pitch, training all week with the belief that they're going to go and attack, and they've got a real good chance of winning.
Will the Liverpool feeling be that they're in for a much tougher examination?
Yeah, I don't think there's any denying that fact. I think what sort of may go into Liverpool's favour is, I think if you sort of analyse teams and the way they play against Liverpool now, everyone sort of sits deep and makes it hard for Liverpool to break them down. So Liverpool have had maybe a little bit of a problem in scoring goals because teams are sitting too deep. You're playing against Manchester United at Old Trafford, like Manchester United are going to come out, and as a Liverpool supporter, hopefully that leaves little spaces where the likes of Salah, the likes of Mane and Firmino can get into spaces and cause Manchester United problems. But it's easier said than done, isn't it?
And, I think last year Liverpool came to Old Trafford. I think United won the game last year. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Marcus Rashford.
Yeah, Marcus Rashford scored, and United sat deep and really protect. Actually, Young played left back. Salah had no space whatsoever to run in behind because it was Salah, it was Firmino, it was Mane. It was the same three. I actually think Ollie's got to go the same way. I think when people say, look, what has Ollie got in terms of tactics? He showed in the Cup against Chelsea, tactically he's very good. I actually think United, when we're saying he's going to attack, I actually think they're going to have to play a counter-attack game because they can't allow Salah, Mane and Firmino to get at that back four. Because if they do, Liverpool have got an unbelievable chance of winning.
In terms of the top of the table and the bigger picture away from this fixture, would you say, from Liverpool's point of view, this is their biggest game at Old Trafford in a long, long time because of the connotation?
Yeah, no, definitely. And every game Liverpool have now will be the biggest game they've ever had, because obviously we've never won the Premier League, and obviously we want to do that. So every game becomes huge. Add that to the fact is that Manchester United on a decent run. They're playing really well. So going there and getting the right result, will be a major scalp for Liverpool. Not in terms of we think Manchester United are better, but I just think in terms of getting points and maybe showing the rest of the Premier League, obviously Man City included, that Liverpool are or that force, if you like.
It's the game in hand, isn't it? I think it's the game in hand for Liverpool. So I think if there's ever a pivotal moment, I think if Liverpool win on Sunday, I think they'll win the league. I think on Sunday if they win, I think that sends an unbelievable message. I think that's like, you know what, nothing's going to stop us this year. I think it's a big mentally a massive performance.
Are we into the psychological things? Because obviously Manchester City play a Wembley final this weekend. Liverpool play in the Premier League. If, like Phil says, they can win at Old Trafford, does that turn the screw again?
Well, it's difficult because I don't think, I mean, they're not going to lose the league and they're not going to win the league by this game. So I still think there's going to be twists and turns. There really is. I mean, obviously,
so they can lose at Old Trafford and still easily be Premier League champions?
I mean, I wouldn't say easily, but yeah, I mean, potentially they still could be. I think they have got it in the locker to sort of still do it. But then you obviously, you're gauging by, other teams as well. So you want maybe other teams to do you a favour. But yeah, Liverpool have got, players to sort of go and get results anywhere. Again, it is a massively tough game. But most games against Manchester are, regardless of wherever anyone is in the league.
I think if you look at the size of this game, we said at the start of the programme about the magnitude when we used to play. It feels as if probably the last 4 or 5 years that magnitude's gone a little bit, because probably United's not been challenging and Liverpool's probably been on the periphery as well. This feels like one of those games, and that's, I think, why Sunday's going to be so good, is that the magnitude of this game on Sunday means that it will probably determine whether United will go into the top 4. And it may be the one result that will get Liverpool over the line to win the first ever Premier League. So I think in terms of magnitude, this is the biggest game since probably me and Robbie played in these games back maybe 10, 12 years ago.
And in terms of United, as we saw, getting in the top 4 after the defeat at Anfield was probably the last thing on their mind. Now they've put themselves, in the driving seat at the moment, in the 4th position. How important is that for the club and for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer? It's
important for the club. I think it's the number one priority. Forget the FA Cup, even though Ole wants to win the FA Cup. The number one priority is Champions League, because he saw the accounts that went out, the actual financial infrastructure is demanding of Champions League football. I think for Ole, this game on Sunday, I think, is probably his biggest game. I felt it 12, 13, 14 games ago when he got the job, is that beat Liverpool at home. It's not whether they'll give him the job, it'll be impossible not give him the job. I think it's that big for him, and it's one of those big occasions where in football you get them, where a lot depends on it.
And what kind of mindset does a Liverpool player need with the magnitude of this game? They've won 1 in their last 9 league visits to Old Trafford, Liverpool. Just to reinforce what you were saying, it doesn't really matter where they are in the table, how difficult a fixture that is from a Liverpool point of view.
Yeah, I don't think you can sort of read too much into that, because obviously this is maybe a different team, and obviously different stages of where Liverpool is at. You obviously go into this game, quietly confident. All right, they're not winning games, really comfortable and and as good as what they were maybe at the start of the season. But Liverpool are, have lost 1 game on all season. I think people forget that. I think people forget sort of how good Liverpool can be. At times, I think we've got. I think we have to remember that. We really do.
Van Dijk has to play on Sunday. I think if Van Dijk plays, they've got a great chance of winning. I think last night in the Bayern.
And of course, from United's point of view, in terms of the title race, you still have to play City and Liverpool at home, which is an unusual scenario. So when United aren't going for the league, they're going to have a say in it.
They'll have a say in it. City will be watching. They'll be preparing for the Carabao Cup final, but they'll be watching this game. Look, I just can't wait. It's one of those games where, as retired players, you want to come back and play. I mean, if Robbie would probably pick himself on Sunday.
but it's interesting because we talk about. I remember obviously, watching a game a few years ago, and it was obviously, your Gary was talking about like the game wasn't unbelievable, but this one potentially is.
Gentlemen, thank you for your memories and your company. Both teams fighting all the way on Sunday. Can't wait.